So what is the difference between hematuria and hemoglobinuria? In hematuria, there will be intact RBCs present in blood, whereas in hemoglobinuria, only hemoglobin will be present. After hemolysis of RBCs, hemoglobin will come into the blood and it will be filtered out. So in hemoglobinuria, no intact RBCs will be found, and so the urine will be clear. Urine will be clear and pink or light red in color. But in hematuria, the urine will be cloudy. In case of gross hematuria, we can see reddish urine. In case of microscopic hematuria, under microscope we can see RBCs. Okay. So, before going to the test procedure, we should know the pathologies, the pathological conditions where hematuria is found. So, from your common knowledge, general knowledge, tell me about any pathological condition where we can see patient having hematuria. Anything related to urine, pathologies are divided into 3 different zones: pre-renal, renal and post-renal. In case of abnormal constituents of urine, all the pathological causes are divided in 3 distinct groups: pre-renal, that is before coming to the kidneys; renal, that involves the kidney pathology; and post-renal, where the urinary tract is involved. Okay, so we can divide the causes of hematuria into 3 groups: pre-renal, renal and post-renal. In cases of pre-renal, mainly hemoglobinuria is seen. Okay, there is no gross hematuria, there is mainly hemoglobin present in urine. So in those cases, mainly hemolysis occurs in our system. Systemic hemolysis occurs. Okay, that's why hemoglobin is present in urine. So name few conditions where hemolysis occurs. Before coming to kidney, systemic cause like sickle cell anemia, okay, where there is spontaneous hemolysis, and in case of even malaria also, dengue also, we can see hemoglobinuria. Okay, and any other cause, mismatch blood transfusion. Okay, mismatch blood transfusion also may lead to hemolysis and may cause hemoglobinuria. So these are kind of pre-renal causes. In case of renal causes, there is proper kidney pathology like acute glomerulonephritis. Okay, or in case of chronic glomerulonephritis, in severe cases also we can see. In case of renal tumors or cancer of kidney, so these pathologies may lead to gross hematuria. Okay, and also in case of trauma, in case of accident cases, in case of trauma where there are physical injury to the kidney tissue and the urinary tract, there will be rupture of arteries and rupture of the tract will lead to gross hematuria. And post-renal causes, so think about the anatomical parts, post-renal anatomical parts. So because of renal stone, okay, dislodged renal stones, impacted renal stones or passing of renal stone may lead to hematuria. And anything else? Catheterization, wrong catheterization, faulty catheterization may also lead to gross hematuria. So in case of gross hematuria, blood will be bright red, okay. In case of gross hematuria, but in hemoglobinuria, it would be pinkish or light red in color, the visible appearance of blood. Okay, so these are the main pathological causes of hematuria: pre-renal, renal and post-renal. Clear to all? Okay, now coming to the detection technique of blood in urine. So the principle is same, but the test has modified. We have a modified test now. Initially or earlier we used to do the benzidine test. benzidine test for detection of blood in urine. Okay, so why we have modified? Because benzidine is carcinogenic, so that's why we have shifted to orthotoluidine test. Now we perform orthotoluidine test to detect blood in urine. So what is the principle behind orthotoluidine test? The principle is hemoglobin itself acts as a peroxide enzyme, peroxidase. Okay, so peroxidase activity of hemoglobin leads to change of H2O2 to H2O plus a nascent oxygen. That nascent oxygen reacts with orthotoluidine reagent and there is a color change, visible color change. We can see the color change. So if hemoglobin is present, hydrogen peroxide will be converted into water and nascent oxygen. That nascent oxygen will react with orthotoluidine and will give rise to a green color. Orthotoluidine itself, it was brownish, light brownish color, and after adding sample with blood and H2O2, it will give rise to green color. Okay, so write down the principle. Acha, you can write your copies from your previous batch. Okay, whatever is given to the Thursday or Friday batch, but if you want to write, you can write. Okay, orthotoluidine test. So hemoglobin here acts as a peroxidase enzyme and leads to breakdown of H2O2 into H2O and nascent oxygen. This nascent oxygen with orthotoluidine gives a green color. Okay, so if the sample changes color to green, it indicates presence of blood. Now coming to the procedure. Procedure is, we have to mix same amount of orthotoluidine and H2O2. This H2O2 is in acidic condition. Okay, this reaction occurs in acidic condition. So for acidic medium, we add glacial acetic acid with H2O2. Okay, so glacial acetic acid with H2O2, we will take 1.5 ml to 2 ml of this and orthotoluidine same amount, 2 ml. Okay, we have to mix this and add sample drop by drop. Okay, so we have to take same amount of orthotoluidine reagent and glacial acetic acid mixed H2O2, and we have to mix it and then we have to add our sample, urine sample, drop by drop. Then there will be a visible color change if green color will be developed if positive blood. Clear? So observation will be color change to green and that indicates presence of blood. So you have to write it in columns. Procedure, you have to, the procedure, observation and inference. Always you have to write in columns. Okay, now coming to the again discussion. If present, if the green color change is positive, then you will be asked the pathological conditions again. Okay, so what are the pathological conditions? Just for a quick revise, it can be pre-renal. First of all, it can be pre-renal, renal and post-renal. So for pre-renal, it would be systemic hemolytic causes. So sickle cell, then mismatch blood transfusion, and also no, not anemia. In case of anemia, there is already less amount of RBC is there, or hemoglobin concentration is much below. And what else I told you? Malaria, dengue, it's such diseases. Okay, and then in case of renal diseases, where there is the renal pathology is involved, and it is acute or chronic glomerulonephritis, or tumors or cancers of kidney. And in case of trauma also, physical trauma, there will be tearing of the tissue and urinary tract, right? In case of post-renal causes, first of all, renal stones dislodged or obstructed, or passing stone, it may cause laceration in the tract and may cause hematuria. And then faulty catheterization in case of any kind of prostate injuries. Any prostate injuries also comes under post-renal causes. Okay, prostate injuries. In case of severe UTI, urinary tract infection, severe UTI, and one thing, if pus cells are present in urine, this test will come positive, because pus cell has the peroxidase activity, same peroxidase activity. So before running the process, we should heat the sample. Okay, or we should remove the pus cells. Clear? So severe UTI may also lead to hematuria. What is the difference between hematuria and hemoglobinuria? RBCs are intact RBCs are present in urine, and in hemoglobinuria only hemoglobin is present. Clear? In case of gross hematuria, like in case of any trauma to the perineum, there will be gross bleeding. So no, in case of other things, like you can, if you can see it is bright red, there is no need, and it's not even so. We can see red blood, red urine, but it might not be hematuria. In case of some drugs, in case of rifampicin drug, the urine is bright red or reddish orange. Okay, so if the patient doesn't give the proper history, we don't get the proper history, and if the patient is passing red blood, and if you take food pigments in larger quantities like beetroot or berries, so you can pass reddish urine. So urine discoloration or reddish discoloration is not significant for hematuria. Okay. So that's why to differentiate we need to test it chemically. Reagent, and this is acidic H2O2. H2O2 mixed with glacial acetic acid. Now jeta hok same amount mix kor 1.5 to 2 ml. 1.5 ml add korleও enough. আচ্ছা, এটার জন্য আমাদেরকে টেস্ট আর কন্ট্রোল দুটো করা উচিত। ওকে, একটাতে টেস্ট একটাতে কন্ট্রোল, কিন্তু এখানে যেহেতু আমরা দেখতেই পাচ্ছি যে এটা ভিজিবলি ব্রাইট রেড একটা স্যাম্পল আছে, তাই আমরা এখন আর এনাফ কন্ট্রোলটা নিচ্ছি। অ্যাড করে মিক্স করবি, তাহলে পুরো সলিউশনটাই কালার চেঞ্জ হয়ে যাবে। আর এটাকে স্ট্যান্ড করে রাখলে এটা আস্তে আস্তে ডার্ক ব্রাউন বা ডার্ক ইয়েলো এরকম একটা কালার হয়ে যাবে। এটা একটু ইয়েলোইশ আসছে, ওই একই আসবে, ঠিক আছে, কিন্তু একটা এটার ওই আর কি কালার চেঞ্জ যেটা হচ্ছে, এবার সেটা আমাদের অর্থোটলিউডিনে হয়তো রিয়েজেন্ট কিছু একটু রয়েছে, কম কনসেন্ট্রেশন রয়েছে, সেই জন্য ইয়েলো আসছে। রাখলে এটা ব্রাউন হয়ে যাবে, ব্যাস এনাফ হয়েছে। সবাই কালার চেঞ্জটা বুঝতে পেরেছে তো? এটা ইনিশিয়ালি গ্রিন হবে, গ্রিন থেকে এটা আস্তে আস্তে ডার্ক ব্রাউনের দিকে চলে যাবে।